YouTube, it's Emma Blue Eyes 10 here, and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Etiquette episode 18, and today's lesson is going to be on chains. Now I'm going to show you some examples of chains and everything, from very simple ones to some that are a bit more complex. And I do hope you find this video useful, and I hope you guys enjoy. Now, chains are a very important game mechanic in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because obviously they can decide how card effects activate, in what order, and how it eventually affects the game state at the end of the chain being resolved. Okay? Now, if you've watched the previous video on spell speed, you'll know that spell speed 1 is the lowest. 9 times out of 10 they will take the first place on a chain. And then spell speed 2 is the second fastest spell, which can be activated on top of spell speed 1 and against, of course, spell speed 2. And spell speed 3 is the fastest of all, and they can be used against any other spell speed, but a lower speed cannot trump a spell speed 3. So, when chains activate, okay, they basically, think of it like a block of building blocks, or like a stacking effect. The first card is always on the bottom, and the last card effect to go always goes on the top, and then it works backwards. So a chain builds up but resolves down. So it seems simple enough. It is simple enough to read and everything, but when it comes to actually putting into effect and playing everything, that's when it can sometimes get a bit tricky, especially with the ways some things are worded nowadays, or how chains, multiple effects and that go off at the same time and everything. So as I said, I'll try and show you some examples to make it easier for you guys to understand, and hopefully I'll be able to understand a bit more myself when it comes around to it. Right, okay, I've got a wee field set up here. Okay, now, as you could pretend this is my side of the field here, right? I've got a Blue Eyes White Dragon out, I've got 2 face downs. My opponent has 2 face down cards himself, okay? Now, just going to double check everything, just make sure it's right. That's cool. Okay, it's my opponent's turn, right? He knows he can't get over the Blue Eyes White Dragon, so he activates his first face down card, which is the spell speed 1 card, Dark Hole. Okay? Now, that means my Blue Eyes White Dragon would be destroyed. However, I have a face down card which will stop that. So I play the quick play, which is a spell speed 2 card, Forbidden Lance. Okay? Now, I could easily just end the chain right there. You know, Forbidden Lance will go off first, so Blue Eyes White Dragon would lose 800 attack, but it'd be protected by the spell. It'd be unaffected by spell and trap, which means Dark Hole would fizz it out and Blue Eyes would stay on the field. However, I know my opponent still has a face down card, and that could be dangerous in trying to target the Blue Eyes again. I'm not entirely sure, so I activate another spell speed 2 card, Mystical Space Typhoon, targeting his card, since I still have targeting his card. You know, a chain builds up depending on how many cards you have left to play. You know, a chain doesn't stop until both players have no more cards left to play. And since I had, I could have easily stopped at this chain link 2 here, but I had another card to play and I went for it, so that becomes chain link 3. So then the chain, as I said, resolves down the way. Mystical Space Typhoon will go first as chain link 3, destroying this face down card, which is a fiendish chain. So that goes. Okay, Forbidden Lance goes off. Blue Eyes White Dragon loses its attack power, but becomes unaffected by spell and trap cards. Dark Hole is now the last card to activate, and since Blue Eyes is protected by the Forbidden Lance, Dark Hole fizzles out, and Blue Eyes stays on the field, and the opponent basically has no way to get back, no way to run over the Blue Eyes. I mean, 22 attack power is still low, but it's still pretty high enough to overwhelm the opponent. So, just to show you the stacking effect, as I was saying, right, Dark Hole goes first, then it's Forbidden Lance, and then it's Mystical Space Typhoon. As I said, so that's the simple chain there. And then it resolves down the way. MST goes first, destroying the back row. Then Forbidden Lance goes off, protecting the Blue Eyes, and then Dark Hole activates as the last card and can't destroy Blue Eyes because it's been protected. So that's an example of a very simple chain there. And I hope you guys understood. And remember, spell speed 1 was Dark Hole, and spell speed 2, of course, was the quick play spells. But no spell speed 3s were activated though, but I'll be showing that in the next example. Okay everybody, here's another example, but again this is my side of the field and those two cards are the opponents. Okay, I have Maiden equipped with Wonder Wand, which has already summoned out a Blue Eyes, and I've got one face down card on the back row. Okay, now my opponent knows that I'm going to potentially use the effect of Wonder Wand to draw, so that's cool, but he also knows that the Blue Eyes White Dragon is a dangerous card and he wants to get rid of it somehow. So I'll say I'm going to declare the effect of Wonder Wand, and then so that will become Chain Link 1. Okay, he responds by activating Mystical Space Typhoon, which is spell speed 2, targeting the Wonder Wand so I cannot get its effect. He then has another card to activate, which is another spell speed 2, which is Book of Moon, and he targets the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So that's Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, Chain Link 3 already, so he's targeting the Blue Eyes. However, I have a card still in response to activate in the chain, and it's the fastest spell speed, a counter trap card, the Solemn Judgment. So then the chain will now resolve backwards, or I'll show you like the direction it's going. So Solemn Judgment will go first, stopping the activation of Book of Moon, which means my Blue Eye still stays face up. And of course I've paid to have my life points. However, it means next one is the Mystical Space Typhoon, so that goes off. Wonder Wand's destroyed, and I don't unfortunately get its effect to tribute or anything like that, because, you know, Mystical Space Typhoon's destroyed it, but I've still got Maiden face up on the field. So that's an example with a Chain Link 3. Now, if the opponent had another Solemn Judgment on his side of the field, for example, then he could have activated in response to my Solemn Judgment, but it'd be the only card he could activate, because remember, a spell speed 3 can only be used against a spell speed 3. No other lower speeds can go against a spell speed 3. So there's another example, including a spell speed 3 card. I'm now going to do a little bit more complex one, and I hope you guys enjoy. And now here is a setup for a very complex chain. It took me a little while to try and get this one done, but I hope you guys enjoy this more complex chain of what things can go. Again, my side of the field, that's the opponent's side of the field with his spell and trap cards there. Now, as you can see, I've got Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and it's currently my turn. So I'm going to try and activate Red Eyes Darkness in order to special summon back from the graveyard my Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. Now my Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, I'm wanting to do that to summon out, get the Silver Eyes Dragon's effect of it protects all other dragons that are currently all on the field. Okay, so I activate that. My opponent says he has a response, so he begins. So the chain now begins. Red Eyes Darkness becomes Chain Link 1. The opponent tries to activate Fiendish Chain to stop the effect of Red Eyes, which becomes Chain Link 2. I say nope. So I chain with Mystical Space Typhoon, which of course is a spell speed 2 as well. The opponent says nope to that, so he decides to activate Book of Moon to target the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon in order to, of course, flip it face down so I still don't get the effect. I respond again with another spell speed 2, Forbidden Lance, protecting the Red Eyes from any spells and traps. Okay, and then we still have cards to respond. So in chain to that, I will now activate my own Silver's Cry in order to try and special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the graveyard. However, the opponent says heck no to that, so he activates a spell speed 3, which is the fastest chain. Now, if I still didn't have any cards to respond, that would be the chain complete. However, I do have one more card response, and that is this card. 7 Tools of the Bandit, which is a spell speed 3 counter trap as well. Now there are no more cards to activate in this chain, so now we will begin resolving the chain backwards since it's all built up. First off, 7 Tools of the Bandit. I play 1000 life points, Solemn Judgment is negated. Silver's Cry goes off as the next link in the chain. Special summons the Blue Eyes White Dragon out. Forbidden Lance goes off, protecting Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, fizzling out Book of Moon. Mystical Space Typhoon then goes off, stopping the effect of Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain fizzles out. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon was the first card in the chain, it's now the last to activate. Its effect does go off. Specials Azure Eyes, that's the chain complete, and now its effect can now go off to protect all my dragons out on the field. Okay, so just going to quickly show you guys again, but I'm going to do it as a stacking effect now to show you guys. So we have the first card was Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. The opponent tried to activate Fiendish Chain. I played Book of Moon. The opponent tries to activate Space Typhoon, sorry, the opponent tries to activate Book of Moon. I play Forbidden Lance. Then Silver's Cry, I chain an effect as well. The opponent tries to Solemn Judgment that, and I finally play my last card in the chain. Select 7 Tools of the Bandit. So that's the chain there. It's quite a big chain, I have to admit, but it was just to show you guys like how complex it goes. So start from the top, remember, chains always resolve downwards. 7 Tool goes off, negating Solemn. Silver's Cries goes off, special summoning the Blue Eyes. Lance goes off, protecting the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Book of Moon can't touch it, so it fizzles out. And then Mystical Space Typhoon goes off, destroying the Fiendish Chain, which means Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's effect goes off. Special summoning the Azure Eyes, which allows it to protect all the other dragons out on the field. So, that was a bit more of a complex chain. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps a wee bit. Now, I won't lie, chains can really be tricky little things sometimes, especially how effects and that go off. They can be very simple, from 1, 2, 3 links to 5, 6, 7 links, as I just showed you guys there. It's not an overnight thing. Learning how to deal with chains and spell speeds and everything does take time and experience. Okay, I can't emphasize that enough. And as you play the game more and you come more into contact with these kind of chains and everything, then the better you become at establishing what goes on what in the chain and what stacks up in the chain and everything, and of course how it resolves and how it affects the game state at the end of the chain and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye.